I failed 7 FTMO challenges plus a lot more other prop firm evaluations until I reread this one book called The Master Key System by Charles Hannell. I'm going to be going through 7 lessons which I took from this book which helped me to become an FTMO funded trader and how it can help you as well. Let's get into it. By the way, this information is only for number 1, people who already have a proven strategy but for some reason are still blowing their funded accounts or their live accounts. And number 2, people who are open-minded to hearing new information because chances are you haven't heard this anywhere else. So let's get into it. The first quote that I took from this book which really helps me is, "We must be before we can do, and we can do only to the extent of which we are, and what we are depends on what we think." Okay, now let me break this down in terms of being a trader. Okay, so I've got quite a few explanations here, so I'm just going to read it off from my laptop here. Okay, so in any 2 moments, you are either acting as a profitable trader or you're acting as an unprofitable trader. Okay, so you're either one or the other. Okay, when you're operating from the state of an unprofitable trader, you are that trader. And based off the quote, you can only do to the extent of that which you are. So what does this mean? This means that when you're operating from the state of an unprofitable trader, your actions align with that identity, which means you over leverage, you revenge trade, you don't accept losses, you don't follow your trading plan, and so on, because you think that the markets are out to get you. You think there won't be another opportunity in the market. You think trading is the answer to all your problems, and etc. So if I relay back to you, the quote is, we must be before we can do, and we can do only to the extent to which we are, and what we are depends upon what we think. So you can see how that works for an unprofitable trader. So when you're acting as a profitable trader, you do what a profitable trader does, which is follow your plan. You accept losses and you manage risk because in your mind, what you think or what you know is that your strategy works, but wins and losses are randomly distributed. You've backtested your data, so you're calm during your executions, and your overall state of being is one of calmness and knowing because you've tested your data and you know these are just the ebbs and flows of the market. Okay, so that's the first one. Now, the second quote that I took from the book is, "The world without reflects the circumstances and the conditions of the consciousness within." Now, what does this mean? When it refers to the world without, it's basically talking about your outer reality. So basically what you see around you, okay? And it says the world without reflects the circumstances and the conditions of the consciousness within. So essentially what this quote is saying, that what you see around you is a reflection of your internal state or your inner world, okay? Now, how did I apply this to my trading? Well, I took this in terms of my equity curve. So let's say on my funded challenge, how my equity curve looked. If my equity curve was not looking too good and I knew I wasn't executing my strategy properly anyway, it was literally just a mirror reflection because I wasn't acting from the inner state of a profitable trader. I was acting as an unprofitable trader and doing the things that they do. And this internal state of being reflected in my equity curve. Okay, so that's how you can use your outer circumstances to see if you're operating from the right state of being because it's a mirror reflection. The third one is, "It is often true that conditions of fear, worry, poverty, disease, inharmony, and evils of all kinds dominate us by reason of false suggestions accepted by the unguarded subconscious mind. All this, the trained conscious mind can entirely prevent by its vigilant protective action. It may properly be called the watchman at the gate of the great subconscious domain." Now, that might sound like a lot, so let me break it down for you guys. So your subconscious mind is essentially what runs your life on autopilot, and it runs 90% of our lives without us actually being aware. So an example is you're breathing right now, but you're not making yourself breathe right now. It's your subconscious mind that's that's keeping things going and keeping you alive, essentially, okay? So the subconscious mind is very powerful in that sense. This quote basically states that the subconscious mind accepts false suggestions, okay? So another thing about the subconscious mind is whatever you tell it, it accepts as true. And look at the subconscious mind kind of like the puppet master in the background, which is running your life on autopilot and you're not aware of it, okay? Anything you feed the subconscious mind, it will take and it will run with it and it will manifest it into your life. So if you say things like, I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid, and you're not aware of what you're saying, then the subconscious mind will take this and give you more circumstances in your reality where you could do something and then someone will say, oh, you're so dumb or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So things of that nature. Now it says, all this, the trained conscious mind can entirely prevent by its vigilant protective action. So this is what I was saying. If you're not aware of your negative self-talk, and if your conscious mind is not guarding the subconscious mind from negative self-talk, then obviously the subconscious will just manifest that into your life. So here it describes the conscious mind as the watchman at the gates of the great subconscious domain, because you have to be vigilant. Your conscious mind has to protect the subconscious. So how does this relate to trading? Well, whenever I found myself in a losing streak, or when a losing streak was getting to me emotionally, I would start doubting my trading abilities. I would start saying things like, oh, am I even a good trader? I'm not a good trader. I'll never be funded, things of that nature. And those things actually manifested, and that's the reason why I probably failed so many times. So once my conscious mind became aware of this, it started being the watchman at the gates of my great subconscious mind, and I started watching what I was feeding my subconscious mind, okay? So that's how I took that one. The fourth thing that I took from here is mental strength is secured in exactly the same way that physical strength is secured, by exercise. We think something, perhaps with difficulty the first time, we think the same thing again and it becomes easier this time. We think it again and again, it then becomes a mental habit. So a lot of people neglect the mental and the things you tell yourself, okay? So this even links in with the one that I was previously talking about, okay? So the same way you train in the gym and you do repetition, is the same way you reprogram your subconscious mind by repeating things, by repeating visualizations, by repeating things which are good for your subconscious to hear. So from this, I'm going to visualize myself over and over being that trader that I want to be and practicing the things that person would do. And I would practice this mentally, because the same way you go and do repetitions in the gym is the same way I would repeat these visualizations, affirmations to myself in the mental. And yeah, it goes without saying, it then becomes a mental habit. The fifth lesson here says, create ideals only. Give no thought to external conditions. Make the world within beautiful and opulent, and the world without will express and manifest the condition which you have within. Okay, so essentially this quote is just telling you to be delusional. It's basically saying what you see in your outside reality, essentially don't give it no thoughts. Okay, so things could be going bad. Okay, so let's say things are going bad in your trading, you're on a losing streak, and it might start getting to you. What this is basically saying is, when you're going through those, or this is how I took it, when you're going through those periods of losing streaks and it's making you feel bad about your trading, it's basically saying create a scenario, create a scene where everything is going amazing, and describe it the best you can. Just don't hold back, don't have any limitations to your ideal scenario. And it's basically saying just become obsessed with that vision and focus on that instead of what you're seeing in your external reality, because at the end of the day, this is only 0.0035% of the observable reality anyway, so you can deem this as an illusion. So there's nothing wrong with being so engrossed in your mental world of your ideal reality, okay? Because this essentially is what's going to make you feel, it's going to make you feel like that trader, and then you'll actually look at your trades, you'll analyze them, and you find what is not working, you'll refine your edge, and then you'll slowly come out of that losing streak, and you'll start winning trades. Okay. The 6th lesson here says all conditions and experiences that come to us do so for our benefit. Difficulties and obstacles will continue to come until we absorb their wisdom and gather from the essentials of further growth. Okay, so this is pretty self-explanatory. Every loss, every blown account that you ever have is a lesson for next time. And if you're consistently losing accounts from doing the wrong things, obviously you can lose accounts, but your edge just happened to be on a losing streak, let's say, which is perfectly fine. But if you know you're not doing the right things and you're not learning from the lessons that the universe is trying to give you, then it's going to continue giving you those lessons so that you can progress onto the next level, okay? Now, the last lesson that I took from this amazing book is wealth should never be desired as an end, but simply as a means of accomplishing an end. Now, I noticed my trading start to improve once I realized why I was actually doing it. Because it's very easy to see all of these traders living an amazing lifestyle, and you become convinced that that's what you're doing it for as well. When you have your own driver, which you need to discover, sometimes you actually don't know what it is, and it's very easy to look to someone else to see what you should be chasing, but it's important to find what it is for you that you want. And for me, it was wanting to get my private pilot's license and being able to buy my own plane so that I can fly. Okay, and I took the step. I went on a trial flight and experienced how it's like to fly. And then from that day onwards, I attached what I was actually doing trading for. And it wasn't just the money, because at the end of the day, money is very fleeting. We don't actually want money. We want what the money can do for us. So it's very important for you to find out what you want the money for. So guys, if you stayed around to the end of this video, I've got a gift for you. I actually took the things that I learned from the Master Key System and created an ebook called the Master Key System for Traders. If you want access to this ebook, then it's going to be inside my WAP community in the link below. Just click the link below and you should be able to access it. Again, thank you for watching the video. I'll see you again soon.